Good afternoon, everybody. Pigskin Pete here. Happy Friday to everybody. Man, we're only 2 days away now. 2 days away from the biggest sporting event in the whole world. I think something like 500 million people across the world watch this thing every year. Even the third world countries, even those countries that only care about soccer, everybody will be tuning in for the Super Bowl. Well, not everybody. I take that back. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Saints fans that won't be tuning in because they're protesting. You know, they're big mad that the Saints aren't in the Super Bowl. So naturally, while the rest of the world, including, countries that don't even have TVs at this point, they'll all be watching it, but the Saints fans won't. I don't know what they'll watch instead. Maybe they'll just go to sleep. Grey's Anatomy on Netflix, I think, is a big one for them. Maybe some Rachel Ray cooking show reruns to try to fulfill that need of Super Bowl food. But before I get into We've already talked at nauseum, and I've read comments at nauseum about how much I don't care or know about the Super Bowl or anything about the NFL, because everybody's smarter than me when it comes to football. I mean, we all know that. But anyway, what's more important than all of that? I mean, all of it. Tom Brady's legacy, Sean McVay's legacy, Todd Gurley. Is this the beginning of is this his first of many Super Bowls? Is this his first Super Bowl MVP of many? The storylines are endless and fascinating. And we've already gone all over all of it on this YouTube channel. But what's more important than all of that? This is not hard to figure out. Number one, Super Bowl parties. Are you a fan or are you not a fan? I'll give my opinion on which one I am or am not, probably more importantly. Super Bowl food. Now, aside from Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthday parties, what are some of the big food days? 4th of July, things like that, where the holiday revolves around food, right? The Super Bowl is one of the main ones, man. And and a lot of this depends on where you live in the country, depending on what kind of food you eat during the Super Bowl. Or somebody, you might be more generic. And we'll go over all the foods. And last but not least, my favorite personally. I love the food, and I'll get to whether or not I love the parties. But one thing I really, really do love is the drinks. The drinks make the party, don't they? Because if you have enough drinks, or the right kind of drinks, or the combination of enough drinks and the right kind of drinks, then the food and the rest of the party is irrelevant because you're toasted. Anyway, so we'll go over the drinks as well. Before I get into any of that, I want to mention today is the last day to sign up for the Patreon contest. You see it up there on the sidebar over there. Today will be your last time to sign up to win the $50 Visa card. So good luck to everybody who signed up for that. And I'll be doing a drawing for that on Super Bowl Sunday, which I'll be live streaming for you here. So let's get right into this here. Super Bowl parties. Now, who doesn't love a good Super Bowl party? Raise your hand if you love Super Bowl parties. That's right. I just put my hand down. You want to know why? Because I don't like Super Bowl parties. Yeah, I don't like New Year's Eve parties. I don't like Super Bowl parties. These are overrated. National championship party. If your team is lucky enough to be in the national championship, like my Clemson Tigers have been, I've been lucky enough to be through that the past 2 out of the last 3 years. And then, of course, back in 2015, my Carolina Panthers went to the Super Bowl. Nothing worse, in my opinion, for an avid football fan, for somebody that, if you're a subscriber or a viewer of mine, or even if you just came across this video, that probably means that you're a complete wacko football fan. If you're searching either anything football related on YouTube, and if you subscribe to any college football or NFL YouTube video maker, that probably means you're just as much of a degenerate as the guy making the video, which in this case would be me. And we all know I'm a degenerate. That goes without saying. So, no bigger nightmare, as far as I'm concerned, as shuffling, that might work too, into a house or bar full of people who are just there for the social aspect of it and could give two craps about watching one down of the game. And what's worse than that? What's worse than the people that don't care about the game of football in the first place, but they're just there to chat and gossip and do whatever and drink and eat, all these things that we're going to talk about today? What's worse than that? The ones that are there to watch the commercials. No, I get it. Some of the commercials are funny. But if you watch the Super Bowl for the commercials, come here so I can slap you. Or as a matter of fact, I can't slap you because I'm just on the internet. What I need you to do is raise your own hand and smack yourself across the face. I am for less commercials, not more. And the Super Bowl, there is no more sporting event in all of the world that has more commercials than the Super Bowl does. Right? Now, some of them might be funny, but that doesn't take away from the fact that there's way too many of them. Way too many of them. And half of the ones that people think are hilarious are stupid. And then you have nowadays with all this, and believe me, I'm not getting into this, into politics at all. But now, everybody gets offended by every commercial too. Like what's that one? What's the one? The Gillette commercial? I watched that commercial online and I'm like, well, what? This is, forget about what their message is. This is a bad commercial for razors. I'm not buying a Gillette now just because what was that? If you're selling a product, how about tell me how great Gillette razors are and how they're going to make my skin smooth and soft? And if you have an overrated, crappy beard and mustache like I have had for years now, what makes me want to use that razor to shave this off? Terrible commercial. I mean, just bad commercial for a product. Sorry, I don't care what the message was. The message got lost in translation because I was wanting to know how good the goddamn razor was. And nobody could tell me that on the commercial. So, anyway, I'm getting lost here. Yeah, I'm getting upset about the commercial. So here's the thing about Super Bowl parties that I can't stand. You have a bunch of people that aren't there to watch the football game. Number one. Number two, you have people there to watch commercials. And then, if you do want to watch the football game, 9 times out of 10, you've got too many people talking to you about crap that you don't. Oh, did you see traffic the other morning on the interstate? Man, that was terrible. And I'm like, I was trying to forget about that a couple of days ago when I was sitting in it. I'm trying to watch a football game. Do you think I care about the traffic 2 days ago? Then you have women, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this one. This guy's sexist. No, not sexist, but the reality is, majority of there's many more men that watch football and care about football than women, right? It's a fact. I'm sorry, it's a fact. But then you have women that come with their husbands. Some of them might look like football. Some of them don't. My wife loves football, but when you get a bunch of women together, even if they like football, it's just yep, 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 and that's all you can hear in the background. You can't even hear the announcer. You can't hear Tony Romo's amazing predictions of the play they're going to call. And half the time, even if you want to one of these weirdos that loves the commercials so much that's the reason you're watching, they're so busy yapping and talking about the last commercial that they saw that you can't hear the one that you're listening to right now. So if you haven't gathered by now, I can't stand Super Bowl parties. My mom asked me, I went and saw my mom today. Mom, I love you. I don't get to see my mom very often, but I just went and saw her today. And she said, so what are you doing for the Super Bowl? Are you guys having a party? Are you going to a party? And I'm just like, no, Mom. First of all, I got kids. It's school night. Second of all, no, I'm just not doing it. I didn't tell her I was going to be streaming the game because then, streaming? What do you mean streaming the game? What is that? And then I'd have to go through the past year and a half of history on YouTube and explain that to her, and that would have been a whole another hour-long conversation. I love you, Mom. Anyway, so I had to tell my mom, I was like, no, I'm just not doing it. Maybe I'm too old for that crap. I don't know. Anyway, so Super Bowl parties, are you a fan? Or are you not a fan? Let me know. Get off of that one. Clearly, I hate them. All right, so next thing, Super Bowl food. Now, this is a great subject, isn't it? Because even if you hate Super Bowl parties, or if you don't even go to Super Bowl parties, if you just do the Super Bowl at your house with your wife or your kids, or even by yourself, if you're a bachelor or something, I don't know. Maybe just have, like 2 or 3 people over, your close friends, so you're not, inundated by yapping women talking about commercials and traffic and the latest makeup product or whatever, or who Justin Timberlake's screwing now or whatever. Yeah, that happens too. The next best thing is the food. So there's so many different ways. If you're in the Northwest, it's probably different than in the Southeast where I live, what people eat, what people don't eat, the favorites, right? So for me, my favorite thing to eat for the Super Bowl, there's 2 categories I'm going to put this in. Seafood is always one, and I don't think that really matters what part of the country you live in. So crab legs, oysters, which is where I'm at with that. I love oysters, steamed with a little bit of butter, and or maybe even no butter, just steamed. That's the way I eat them. Maybe a little bit of Tabasco, some sort of hot sauce on them. Yummy. I could eat 3 dozen of them. And I live in oyster country, so we have a lot of local oysters here. It's cheap. They're great. This is the time of year for them, the whole 9 yards. So if you're in the Northeast, you might like clams, right? Isn't that big up in like New England area? Some people might prefer crab legs, steamed, boiled, broiled, whatever, crab legs. That's great too. Then you have the more traditional stuff that people eat, like pizza, chicken wings, which is fine. I guess, but you can eat pizza and chicken wings on any given football Sunday, NFL Sunday, or even college football Saturday for that matter. That's just that's a staple. If you have a Super Bowl party, whether you're having oysters or something more extravagant, crab legs, you still have to have pizza and wings just for people because that's supposed to be there. It's sort of like, it's understood that there's going to be pizza and wings at a Super Bowl party. So you got to have those there, even if you eat them or not. The next thing I like, and this is something that I eat during the entire game. So the oysters and the crab legs and stuff like that, or maybe a burger or a piece of pizza, that might be like the main course, the dinner part. But you always have to have something to snack on, continuously, starting pre-game and during the game and maybe even after the game, depending on how drunk you are or how hungry you are. And that is dips. And the dips, the list of dips at a Super Bowl party are endless. So I can't go through all of them. You got 7-layer burrito dips. My personal favorite, Velveeta and Rotel tomatoes, the spicy cheese dip. That's what I'm going to be having probably while I'm on air live. If I can get Miss Peete to go get some Velveeta cheese dip, some couple of cans of Rotel tomatoes, cook that sucker up, and you could dip anything. Hell, you could dip a piece of dog turd in that, and it would taste amazing and fantastic. So I'll definitely be having some spicy cheese dip. What other kind of dips are there? You have your regular salsa dips. You have all kinds of different kinds of queso dips, white queso, yellow queso, bean dip. We can't forget about the bean dip. But that's one you definitely, if you're on a date, especially if you're on a first date with a girl that you're trying to, not get the home run later on that night, don't do the bean dip. Bad idea. That won't work. So then you have, what's the other thing? So tacos. Tacos is another big one. And look, some people get real fancy with their tacos and they want all kinds of different, crazy tacos that you never heard of. I don't care if it's Chipotle or whatever. Look, if it's me, just go order everything within reason on the Taco Bell menu. I'm not hard. Now, I love Chipotle and I love Moe's is Southwest Grill, which is sort of like Chipotle, same difference. We have both those here where I live. But listen, I'm easy, man. Just a bunch of soft tacos, crunchy tacos, maybe some chicken burritos, whatever, chili cheese burritos. Just give me some Diablo sauce and let me go to town on that bad boy. So tacos are another one that's really good. Let me know what your favorite Super Bowl food is. I'm sticking, as far as my number one favorite, it would have to be oysters. Let me know what yours is. Okay, now, last and not least, right? Oh, man, I love this part. Last but not least, Super Bowl drinks. Now, this doesn't apply to everybody. Again, this doesn't have to be at a party or whether you're just chilling with a couple of buddies at the house or your family or whatever. Listen, the main staple of any Super Bowl party, if you drink alcohol, now that's another thing here, because not everybody drinks alcohol. Some of you might either be too young to drink alcohol. So if you're under 21, don't do it. All right. If you're under 21, don't get caught doing it. It's probably a better way to put it. But actually, don't do it. I don't condone underage drinking. I don't. And then of course there's people that just don't drink alcohol. Maybe they're had a drinking problem in the past and they've quit drinking. Or maybe they just don't like alcohol. There's that sort of people too. But if you are an alcohol drinker, this segment is for you. So the key to any Super Bowl party has got to be beer, right? Now, some people don't drink beer. Some people like liquor. Some people like wine. Some people like whatever, other things than beer. But I don't care what you're doing. You can't have oysters, Velveeta, Rotel, tomato, cheese dip, pizza, tacos, wings, burgers, and hot dogs and not have any beer in the house. What's wrong with you? Are you crazy? Hello? You should get your man card taken away if you don't have any beer in the house. Even if you don't drink it yourself, at least have it for your guests, but be a good host. Don't be crazy. There's nothing more American than football and beer drinking. I'm sorry. I mean, to wrap your beer can in an American flag, that's about the only way you can make it more American. So, now, anybody who knows me, if you've been a subscriber for a long time, you notice on a lot of my live streams, I drink beer, especially when I'm live streaming football games, because that's what I do when I'm watching football on the weekends. I drink beer. Most time it's light beer because, that you can drink a bunch of them, right? You can drink 12 of them, and you're not, completely whacked out of your head. Some people are a little bit more snobby, right? Yeah, they need their IPAs. I need something that's hoppy, something very malty. Do you have some malty IPA? Fine, whatever. If that's your thing, go for it. I like IPA too, but whatever. I'm not picky. The only thing I don't like is fruit flavored beer. I've been over this a million times. I like coffee flavored coffee. I like beer flavored beer. I don't want my beer to taste like oranges. I don't want it to taste like apricots, pineapples. Whatever you could think of, whatever fruit that you can think of, they have a beer that's flavored like it. I want mine to taste like beer, at least resembling tasting like beer. So when it's Coors Light, Bud Light, if you're a light beer guy, Coors Light, Bud Light, Keystone Light, whatever. I mean, really anything. Busch Light, Natty Light, you name it. Go for it. Go crazy. Maybe you like Mexican beers. Maybe you like Dos Equis, right? Maybe you like Corona. Maybe you're a Corona guy. That's all great to me, right? Literally, you could put any beer in front of my face as long as it doesn't taste like a fruit, and you're not going to get any complaint out of Pigskin Pete. I'll drink it, okay? So cheers for the beers. Now, if you're a liquor drinker, now this is for the hardcore boys. Now, the ones that really eventually start drinking the liquor at the Super Bowl party are usually a fan of the team that's losing or about to lose or have lost the game. So once the liquor breaks out, this is the last resort to try to forget about and drown your sorrows out of how your team just got beat in front of the whole world, including Zambodia and Tasmania in the Super Bowl. So I don't know what you like. If I drink liquor, which is very rarely, because I do have some sort of priorities in life, and liquor usually never leads to good decisions or good things happening in any situation. But I prefer brown liquor, okay? Specifically bourbon and whiskey. I could drink bourbon probably every day of the week, but thank God I don't. It would be bad to do that. But I stay away. I try to stay away from white liquor as much as I can. I mean, I will have a little bit of vodka here and there. That's usually for women who are trying to keep the love handles in check, because the vodka doesn't have any calories, and they can mix it with seltzer water and fruit enhancers. What are the water enhancers? You know what they are. So anyway, vodka may be your thing. I prefer the bourbon. If anybody comes to my house and they are not a female and they break out a wine cooler of any sort, a Zima, a Seagram's wine cooler, anything like that, you're immediately kicked out of Pigskin Pete's house, and you will never be allowed back in. I officially steal and take your man card. No wine coolers for anything that has a male chromosome in its DNA. Okay, that's the rule as far as that goes. So, what do you like to drink? As far as the Super Bowl goes, are you a beer guy? Are you? Hey, I missed a whole another category here. Wine coolers, no, but wine, yes. I love wine. I love white wine. I love red wine. I don't like the rosés and the whatever they are called, whatever the white Zinfandels, the pink looking ones. Ugh, disgusting. But give me a good red, give me a good white, especially like a Pinot Grigio. I'm all over it. I could drink wine with the best of them. Okay, I love wine. But as far as football goes, a couple of cold brewskis and Pigskin Pete is all good. So you let me know what your favorite drink, food, etc. is for the Super Bowl, and also let me know if you like Super Bowl parties, if you just like to hang out with the boys or maybe with the wife and the kids and watch it on TV. And more importantly, whether you're at a Super Bowl party or you're just sitting at home by yourself with your boys or your wife and watching the game, make sure you tune in to Pigskin Pete starting at 6 p.m. Super Bowl Sunday. I'm going to stream the whole game. We're going to drink beer together. We're going to eat Velveeta Rotel dip, whatever else Miss Pigskin Pete cooks up. We're going to have a great time, and it's going to be amazing and fantastic. And I'll give you my thoughts on the game on Super Bowl Sunday. Have a great day. Pigskin Pete, check it out.